Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zero from TechDragon.info, and today we have yet another top 10. It's going to be a top 10 of my most favorite tanks in my garage. I've already done a top 10 shittiest, crappiest, I forgot what I called it, but worst tanks in my garage, something like that. And today I think it's time to do one of the opposite. What do I actually like? Because I don't want to come, sound like a sauerkraut person that doesn't like anything. So I also definitely have 10 tanks I really like. Now this was a very difficult list for me to make because there are so many tanks in my garage I like, and that's why I have that many tanks. I mean, there's a lot of tanks here. Last count, I think 57 or something. So I think I have a couple more by now. So yeah, there's close to 60 tanks in here, so I do like a lot of them. So without further ado, let's start with number 10. And on number 10 we have the KV4. It was a very difficult choice to make where to put everything, like to prioritize everything, and preferably I would just have everything on first spot on place 1 and then the rest all on 2. And then 3 for everything that sucks, but no, alas, I had to make a choice, and this one comes in at number 10, which doesn't make it a bad tank or anything. I love this thing, it's awesome. It's a KV Fortress. This thing is tough as nails. Let's take a quick look here. Decent victory ratio on it. What I wanted to see here is armor use 1.24. Yeah, average blocked 1600. That's what I mean. I love this thing. It is freaking amazing. That is a very nice number. And it's not the best killer because it's, somewhat slow, so you do have issues with not being able to keep up with the battle and that, everything that goes with a slow tank. But overall, it's a pretty fun tank. So that comes in at number 10. Let's take a look at number 9. And here we are with number 9, the T69. That was actually a coincidence. I just realized what I said. Whoops. This thing, it's a solid tank. I don't think my stats on this thing are all that fantastic. Let's take a quick look. 55% win rate. Can't complain about that. These are not, they're not bad, but they're not as good as I want them to be. Doing 1200 damage a game, not fantastic. I take too much damage. I play it a little bit too aggressive. I should be a little bit more opportunistic. If you don't know what the T69 is, it is a American Tier 8 auto-loading medium. Gets a 4-shell magazine. Let's take a quick look here. 4 shells, 2 seconds between the shells, 173 penetration and 240 damage. So pretty much the Super Pershing's gun, but now with a 4-clip auto-loader. If you know the Super Pershing at least, but that's what you can compare it to. Turret, even though it's not all that super duper strong, 152mm, it's not bad, but it's very well angled, and this thing actually bounces quite a bit, surprisingly, even on its upper hull, which is only 101mm, but quite sloped and also rounded. So this thing has pretty decent survivability, and it's just a blast to play because of the autoloader, and I kind of like autoloaders. They're a very special breed to play, but yeah, they're quite fun. And without further ado, let's move on to number 7. Unsurprisingly, at number 7 we have yet another autoloader, the AMX 1357 GF. This thing is just a nasty little piece of work that people overlook, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage per shell. The damage per shot is pretty low. But they kind of forget the rate of fire and how many shells you have. Which is freaking hilarious if people underestimate this thing. This thing will unload an entire clip of 720 damage off the top of my head in 7 seconds, because the first shell is already loaded, so 8 shells, 7 seconds between it because the first one's already in there, so you don't have to load that one. So in 7 seconds this thing does over 700 damage. Yeah, that hurts. So people so often misjudge this thing in how dangerous it is, and it is bloody hilarious. So that's why this thing comes in at number 7. And let's take a, did I say number 7? 10, 9, number 8. I can count. Number 8. Let's take a look at number 7. And here we are with number 7, yet another autoloader. I just told you guys I like autoloaders. and this thing is no exception. This thing gets a pretty ferocious gun, a fast little thing. This thing is zippy fast. Combine that with a pretty decent gun. Can't complain about the gun. Let's take a quick look here. 6 shells in the magazine, 175 pen, 150 damage. Pretty decent reload, 20 seconds. It's a bit long, but it's not bad. 0.39 accuracy and 2.1 second aim time. Let's take a brief look at the stats here. 57% win rates, that's probably why I like it. 1.22 damage ratio, destruction 1.15. Yeah, I don't use this thing so much as a scout, although I do spot over 2.5 people a game, so I guess I'm not doing too bad. But yeah, this thing is just loads of fun. And again, autoloader, you either love him or you hate him. It's an acquired taste, that's for damn sure. But I did not plan the T57, what T50? T71, wow, to be at place number 7, but it is. I think that's the last one that actually goes with the, yeah. Let's move on to our next contestant. And here we are with the next one at 6? 6, yes. Is the T127. This thing is a low tier tank, but it is just fun to tank. It's a good combination of armor, mobility, and still a pretty decent gun. It's not the most fantastic gun by any stretch of the imagination. 74 damage, 51 pen, accuracy not fantastic, aim time pretty good though, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a steel clubbing device. 64% win rate. But as you saw, let's actually take a... Oh, no, not that one. Where is it? There it is. Let's take a bit longer look at the... here. 118 games, 64% win rate. It's by far not my most played, as you can see. So I don't use this as a stat pad or anything. I just seriously enjoy playing this thing because it can make a difference. And not because it's a Steel Clubber's device, because it's not. It's pretty easy to take this thing out. But when used correctly and angled and... you know, it can be quite the force to be reckoned with. 11 kills in this thing. Yeah. Average damage 400. Well, for tier 3, that's not too bad. Damage received 179. That's not bad at all. As you can see, 0.53 armor. 112 blocked per game. I mean, this thing only gets 250 hit points. So I'm blocking like half my health. Over half, well, give or take half my health every game, on top of my normal health, so yeah, pretty good. Let's move along to the next one. And the next one is actually 2. It is the T67 and the Achilles. Now, why 2? Well, because these things are pretty damn similar. In playstyle, in mobility, in a lot of ways. Now, one of them is tier 6, obviously, the Achilles, and the T67 here is not, it's tier 5. But these things are so incredibly alike. They're both open top. They both, for their tier, have a pretty damn good gun. Achilles slightly better than T67. T67 is still the fastest tank out of the two, though. Top speed of 61 with a 460 horsepower engine versus top speed of 48 with a 500 horsepower engine, but it's also 28 tons versus 14 tons. So this thing is by far the faster out of the two. But still, these things are so incredibly similar in playstyle. As you can see, I also have a Mark of Excellence, and I think I achieved it in about 50 games or so. So not even the needed 100s. You know, it counts your last 100 games. 50 or so was enough to get it. So, yeah. These things are just a blast to play. You like TDs, you like to be sneaky, you like to move around and not just sit in one bush in the back. And this thing, these are pretty mobile, so you can move around and dynamically influence the game. It's not like you sit in one bush the entire game and just snipe, although they're pretty good at sniping, both of them. But, you know, you relocate and you shoot from a different position, and it's not a fixed TD, you know, it's not a slow-moving TD that can just push a flank, but these things have no armor. Once these things are out alone, they're pretty screwed. Then you just need their camouflage value. Sadly, the camo value of this tank is pretty shit compared to the T67, which of course is quite a bit smaller. I mean, let's be honest, it's a big tank. But the camo value of this thing is pretty bad. Which is why I have camouflage on this thing, just to compensate that a little bit. And I usually run it with binoculars and camo net, so yeah. But yeah, that's why these things are combined into the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth place. I don't have numbers next to them, just the names of the tanks. So let's move on to the next one. And here we are. Not very surprising that this thing made it into the top 10. The Tiger, as you can see, I have Mark of Excellence as well. This is just a first mark. Haven't played it recently. I've just got so many other things to play. So many tank lines I'm working on that I just don't have too much time to play all the tanks that I just enjoy playing, because I want to actually progress down the line. So haven't played it too much lately, but yeah, this thing is a fantastic tank. Great combination of mobility, of firepower, and to a certain extent armor. Although it's just 100 millimeters, it's not fantastic, and you do have to angle it, and it does not bounce all that much. Let's take a brief look. Where is it? There's the statistics in this thing. Only 53% win rates. It's actually lower than I thought it was. As you can see here, armor efficiency is only 0.21, so not that fantastic. But average damage 1500, average taken 1200. The thing has 1500 health points, so on average I survive this thing. 32% survival rate, so 78% hit rate. That's actually pretty high compared to most of my tanks. Not all of them, but yeah. So that's not too shabby. Still don't have a top gun of this thing, surprisingly. I don't know why. There's just certain tanks that refuse to get a top gun. I've done over 4k damage in the game, it's still not a top gun. I don't know. It's just certain tanks. Oh well. That was number 4 in our list. Let's head over to number 3. And here we are with number 3. Those of you who are longer subscribers of the channel will know that I love my Super Pershing. And I love it even more ever since the latest patch, and they buffed the frontal armor. This thing was fun when it started, got a little bit less fun when they changed up the armor value on the front. But it was still a good tank, and I still enjoyed it, and I still did well in it. Most people just ripped on it for being a bad tank, and not being useful, and being shit, and a lot of people sold it for gold and all that, but I never sold it because I enjoyed it, even with the weaker armor that I had before. But now that it's pretty much been restored to its former glory, oh man, this thing is a blast to play. Gun, not the most fantastic thing on the planet. 170 penetration, 240 damage, 0.38 accuracy. It's not the most accurate, doesn't have the most punch to it, and definitely not the most penetration. Rate of fire, on the other hand, is pretty good, but overall this thing is just a blast to play. It's a medium that has quite a bit of extra survivability. Let's take a quick look at the stats here. 52% win rate. Yeah, with this thing not having armor like it was in the previous patch, like a couple of patches ago, this thing was a lot harder to do well in, because it got nerfed in a lot of ways. So you basically were left with a slow medium tank that had, even for a medium tank, a very mediocre gun. So you had a slow tank with a shitty, well, not shitty, but shittier gun. It makes it very hard to pull your weight in the game, so it was quite a bit less, and that had quite an impact on my victory ratio. But if I start playing this thing more now, it should go up quite a bit. 75% hit rate, armor efficiency of 0.54. That's gonna go up as well now that it actually has armor again. Damage ratio over 1, destruction ratio 1.67, not bad. Spotted and destroyed need to go up. Spotted not so much because this thing is slow, but the destroyed I like to see over 1. I need to kill at least one thing a game. That's my personal goal, I guess. Maximum experience 1600, 3k damage, and 5 kills. This is yet another one of those tanks that just refuses to get a top gun. I don't know why. I'm guessing it has something to do with the speed and a not all that great of a gun. Doing only that amount of damage makes it a lot harder to finish people off. The bigger the gun, the easier it is to finish people off, because you only have to hit them once to take off X amount of HP. While with this gun, you might have to shoot them twice or 3 times and they have time to get into cover. So, bigger gun, easier to get kills. In theory, of course you can get it. Yeah, never mind. Too much of a discussion, not going into that. Let's move on to our next tank, shall we? And here we are. Again, people who have been with me on the channel here for a longer time know that I love this little thing. This tank is bloody amazing. I've had so many good games in it. In my opinion, this is the best tier 4 there is. Some people like the Matilda, some people like the M3 Lee. Yeah, they actually exist. don't ask. They do exist. I like this thing. And why, you might ask? Well, this reason. A tier 4 with 130 penetration. There's tier 5 tanks. Hell, there's tier 6 tanks that are jealous of this kind of penetration. Combine that with a pretty damn good rate of fire, pretty good damage, okay accuracy, and average aim time, and you are left with a sneaky little TD that is pretty mobile. It's only a 210 horsepower engine, but only weighs 13 tons. So 43 it will pretty much do. Gun traverse, like the side-to-side movement, is pretty narrow. You can probably move it around this-ish angle. I think it goes to the left slightly more than it goes to the right. But overall, I would say it's a pretty damn good tank. Let's take a brief look at the stats here, and then we'll jump to number 1. Yeah, 58% win rates. I just love this thing. Armor, I'm surprised it has anything. Hit rate, not fantastic. The gun is not the most accurate, and I just shoot chills. You know, it happens. So yeah, that kind of does that. 38% survival rate is pretty good. Damage cost 510 for a tier 4, not too shabby. Damage received 180 is nice and low, love it. Damage with assistance, not that great. Spotting, well, I'm a TD, but destroyed 1.5 tanks on average. Maximum experience 1900, maximum damage 1999, and a grand total of 10 kills. And I've done that a couple of times, 10 kills and 9 kill games. So yeah, pretty fun. Defender, high caliber, as you can see I have 10 of them. 7 top guns. I have a Kolobanov's medal. I have a video up on that game as well. So yeah, this thing is just a blast to play. Sadly, you do not get the Mark of Excellence on tier 4, so don't have that. Otherwise, I would probably have that. So, number 1, you might be asking. Let's quickly scroll through the list here. We'll start at the beginning. What is my number 1 tank? If you have any idea, stop the video now, place a comment, and see if you were right. Bum 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 bum. The T-34. Do I even need to say why? This thing is an absolute beast. The gun is fantastic. Rate of fire, of course, is absolute garbage. But 248 penetration, 400 average damage, 0.35 accuracy, of course, not being fantastic. Aim time is pretty damn long. There's a reason why I have a vertical stabilizer and vents on this thing, just to help out with the aim time. But this thing is just an absolute beast. Let's take a look here. 58% win rate in close to 200 games. 80% hit rate, so that accuracy, I don't care, I still hit. Damage ratio of 1.31, 1.5 destruction ratio, 0.42. Armor use efficiency, that turret on this thing is monstrously good. Damage cost 1600 and still going up with pretty much every game I play. Damage received 1200. I need to minimize that, that's too much. I need to take less damage. Not too much spotted. Kill needs to go up as well. Maximum experience 2000, maximum damage 4.5k, 7 kills. I have my Mark of Excellence at 77%, so halfway to the second mark. Haven't played this thing in a while, so I need to get back into it as well. I've had a Kolobanov's medal on this thing as well. 1 top gun, Confederates, a steel wall, a spotter? How the hell did I get a spotter on this thing? Anyways, a lot of high calibers. For some reason, I don't seem to get a lot of kills, and that's probably due to the fact that the reload does for this thing. Yeah, it's a pretty long reload, but, you know, because it's such a big gun, you do get to finish off a lot of people, but, yeah, long reload also has its downsides, but overall, this thing, the mobility, it's not fantastic, but it's mobile enough. The gun, like I said, is fantastic. Turret armor at 279 is great. Even the rear turret armor is pretty damn awesome. 203mm. If you get the back of this tank, people often shoot the back of the turret and often not penetrate it. It's freaking hilarious. You just need to shoot the back of the engine deck here, but yeah, don't shoot the turret on this thing. Even the side still has 127 and is somewhat sloped here and there. Like you have slopes up there, bottom is rounded, yeah. So that is my number 1. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you agree? Or do you just shout at your screen right now going like, no! And what tank in my garage will you have seen as number 1? Or, if you so desire, what tank do you think that you own that should have been on place number 1? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you guys enjoy a video like this, where we just talk about some stuff and just, you know, check some stuff out, look at some stats, and just go around and see what's what and all that. So let me know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.